Hi, I'm Maddie. Have you ever considered if you can really trust your eyes? Because this is not what you think. They may look like rabbits with their big ears and large feet, or perhaps even antelope with their long legs, large eyes and hilarious run, but they are in fact cavies and they're rodents, closely related to rats and squirrels. The reason they look so much like rabbits and antelopes is because they've evolved to do much the same job and they need the same tools. It's known as Convergent Evolution, where creatures are faced with the same problem and come up with very similar solutions, even though they might be on opposite ends of the earth. A good example would be dolphins and fish, which have sprouted similarly shaped fins or flippers to manoeuvre through water. However, because they had a different starting point and a different way of moving, dolphins notably have a horizontal tail fin as opposed to vertical. And it doesn't stop there. This is not a snake, it's a legless lizard or slowworm, and these are caecilians, eels, and worms. All are at very different branches of the evolutionary tree, but they've taken on a similar shape, so they can slowly wiggle through even the smallest of gaps. African porcupines, European hedgehogs and Australian echidnas have all turned to spiky quills of hair for defence, whilst armadillos and pangolins have separately developed thick plates and curl up into balls. It's not just convergent evolution that will have you doing double takes. Some animals don't just end up looking like each other by chance, it serves a very useful purpose. This is the eastern coral snake, and one bite from it could kill you in just a few hours, so that's a pretty good reason to leave it well alone. And this is its nearby neighbour, the Scarlet Kingsnake. It's non-venomous and might make a tasty morsel for a predator. But if you were a predator, would you risk your life on grabbing the right one? Me neither, so it turns out looking like the deadliest creature around can be a pretty useful defence too. You needn't always look like a deadly snake though. This baby bushveld lizard tries to look and walk like a local beetle with a nasty defensive spray, a sneaky tactic to avoid being eaten by birds. And it doesn't stop with looks. This is not a kookaburra, but one of nature's best mimics, the lyrebird, and it's even good enough to confuse other kookaburras. For the lyrebird, being able to mimic other things is a good way to impress the ladies, but it can also do a camera shutter, a car alarm, and a chainsaw. So not only can you not trust your eyes, but your ears are no good either, so what about your nose? Can that sniff out the truth? Blister beetle larvae can climb to the top of tall grass stems and cluster into a big B-shaped ball. They can then waft out the perfect replica of the female digger bee pheromone. As an amorous male bee approaches to mate her, he is instead invaded by the larvae and carries them to other females and ultimately down into the nest where they can eat the bee's food and even their young. And it's not just animals that need a double take. These incredible orchids look, feel and smell like female bees and wasps. With all of these signals saying go for it, the males just don't stand a chance and become the reluctant pollen carriers of these sneaky plants. So if nature tells us anything, it's that nothing is what it seems. For more incredible wildlife from the world around you, make sure to subscribe to Earth Unplugged and we'll see you soon.
Okay, that was really funny. Okay, so although it might seem incredibly stupid for Sam to be dressed so brightly in this environment, but it does actually have real application when an animal or a person is moving, and this is called motion dazzle.